Let's talk about Canada's whiskey pride, Crown Royal. For generations, this iconic spirit has been a symbol of Canadian craftsmanship, enjoyed at celebrations and gatherings across the country. It's more than just a drink, it's a piece of national heritage, deeply woven into the fabric of Canadian identity. Diageo, the global giant behind Crown Royal, just announced the closure of its Amherstburg, Ontario bottling plant, ending nearly a century of local tradition and expertise. This plant has been a cornerstone of the community since the 1920s, providing steady jobs and a sense of pride for generations of families. This isn't a minor move, it's a seismic shift for the town, with about 200 jobs on the line. The announcement has left workers and their families facing an uncertain future, unsure of what comes next in a town where opportunities are already scarce. Diageo calls it part of their Accelerate plan. Translation: more profit for them, pink slips for workers. The company claims it's about efficiency and streamlining operations, but for those affected, it feels like a cold corporate decision, with little regard for the people who built the brand. Operations will shift to Valleyfield, Quebec, leaving Amherstburg's economy reeling. The move is expected to hit local businesses hard, from suppliers to restaurants, as the ripple effects of the closure spread throughout the region. Diageo insists Crown Royal will remain Canadian, since the whiskey will still be mashed, distilled, and aged in Canada, just bottled elsewhere. They promise the quality and tradition will continue, but for many, the reassurance rings hollow. But, for Amherstburg, it's cold comfort. The soul of the brand may stay, but the heart of the community is being gutted. The loss is deeply personal, as families grapple with the end of an era and the uncertainty of what lies ahead. The town feels betrayed, and Ontario's premier is gearing up for a fight. Local leaders and residents are rallying together, determined to make their voices heard and push back against what they see as a corporate abandonment. This story is just heating up. As the community mobilizes and political pressure mounts, the fate of Amherstburg and the legacy of Crown Royal hangs in the balance. The closure means more than lost jobs, it's a blow to Amherstburg's identity. For generations, the plant stood as a symbol of stability and hope, anchoring the town's sense of purpose. Now, with its doors shuttered, a deep uncertainty settles over the community. 200 stable, union jobs vanish overnight, threatening the livelihoods of families who have depended on this work for decades. The loss ripples through households, as parents wonder how they'll pay the bills and children sense the anxiety in the air. The plant was more than a workplace, it was a source of pride and tradition, a place where friendships were forged and memories made. Generations of families worked side by side, passing down stories and skills, making the factory a cornerstone of Amherstburg's heritage. Local businesses, from diners to hardware stores, face a ripple effect as spending dries up. With fewer paychecks circulating, shops struggle to stay open, and the once busy main street grows quieter by the day. The economic pain spreads far beyond the factory gates. The union, Unifor, calls it a betrayal after decades of loyalty and hard work. Workers who gave their best years to the company now feel abandoned, their dedication seemingly forgotten in a corporate decision made far from home. The community's fabric is unraveling, and the sense of loss runs deep. Neighbors gather to support one another, but the uncertainty is palpable. The closure has left a void that's hard to fill, both emotionally and economically. Amherstburg's history is tied to that plant. Losing it feels like losing a piece of themselves. The factory's legacy is woven into the town's story, and its absence is a wound that will take time to heal. Now, the town must figure out how to recover with little help from Diageo. Residents gather at town halls, searching for solutions and hoping for support, but the path forward remains uncertain. The company offers platitudes, but the pain is real. Corporate statements can't mend broken trust or replace lost livelihoods, and the community is left grappling with the harsh reality of what's been taken from them. Amherstburg is left to pick up the pieces. As volunteers step up and neighbors lean on each other, the town's resilience is tested. The road ahead is uncertain, but the spirit of the community endures, determined to rebuild and find hope once again. Enter Premier Doug Ford, a man who's never been known for subtlety or holding back his opinions. When controversy strikes, Ford doesn't tiptoe around it. He charges in, making sure everyone knows exactly where he stands. This time, Ford took aim at Diageo, the company behind Crown Royal. He threatened to pull Crown Royal and every Diageo product from Ontario's government-run LCBO stores if the company followed through with its plan to close a local facility. The message was clear: mess with Ontario jobs, and you'll lose Ontario's business. At a heated union rally, Ford made his point in dramatic fashion. He poured out a full bottle of Crown Royal right in front of the cameras, a bold gesture that instantly made headlines across the country and sent a strong message all the way to Diageo's London headquarters. Ford's stance was simple and uncompromising. If you abandon Ontario workers, Ontario will abandon your products. He made it clear that the province stands with its workers, not with corporations looking to cut costs at their expense. And Ford didn't stop at whiskey. He even hinted at banning other Diageo brands, like Smirnoff vodka, from store shelves. The threat was unmistakable. Ontario's liquor market is not to be taken for granted. The LCBO is one of the largest buyers of alcohol in the world. Losing access to Ontario's massive market would be a serious blow to Diageo's bottom line, potentially costing millions in lost sales and damaging their reputation with Canadian consumers. Ford's aggressive approach has transformed what started as a local labor dispute into a national showdown, drawing attention from coast to coast and putting Diageo under intense public scrutiny. By taking such a public stand, Ford is positioning himself as the champion of Ontario's workers, rallying public support and forcing Diageo to seriously reconsider its plans. Now the company faces a tough decision: stick to their original plan and risk losing a huge, lucrative market, or back down and keep Ontario's business and its workers on their side. The ball's in Diageo's court, and all of Canada is watching to see what their next move will be. While Ford's theatrics grab attention, the union wants real action. Unifor's demand pull all Diageo products from LCBO shelves immediately, not in 2026. They believe only a swift financial hit will force Diageo back to the table. The union sees this as a fight for survival, not just a bargaining chip. They're skeptical of Diageo's motives, seeing profit prioritized over people. Rallies, media pressure, and calls for government action are ramping up. The union wants Ford to move from threats to concrete steps. Their goal: save jobs, protect the community, and send a message to multinationals. They're drawing a line in the sand, demanding the Premier stand with them. For Amherstburg, it's now or never. The fight is on. Diageo's response: classic corporate speak. They claim the closure is about supply chain efficiency and consolidating bottling in Quebec. It's part of their global Accelerate program to save over $600 million in 3 years. Diageo says this move brings bottling closer to US markets and ensures long-term competitiveness. They promise to support affected workers, but it rings hollow in Amherstburg. The company insists it's a tough but necessary business decision. So far, Diageo isn't budging, hoping the political storm will pass. For the town, it's little comfort after generations of loyalty. The corporate line falls flat in a community left behind. Ford's whiskey-pouring stunt drew fire from political opponents. Critics call it a spectacle, questioning if it helps workers or just grabs headlines. Some warn that threatening Diageo could spark interprovincial tensions and hurt national unity. They argue for negotiation and incentives, not public threats. The situation has become a political football, with both sides posturing. Meanwhile, the fate of 200 workers hangs in the balance. The circus continues, but real solutions are still elusive. Amid the drama, whiskey fans wonder, is Crown Royal still Canadian? Diageo insists yes, the whiskey is still mashed, distilled and aged in Canada. Only the bottling moves to Quebec, so the Canadianness remains. The brand's identity is crucial, especially for US sales. Diageo is betting consumers care more about where it's made than where it's bottled. Still, the closure is a blow to Amherstburg's legacy. Whether the brand's reputation weathers this storm remains to be seen. For now, Diageo cuts costs while waving the maple leaf.